Hey everyone. So yeah, well, I'm sure other people will start joining in as we go. But yeah, welcome. And I few things before we get started. Uh, so this is the first coaching lab of the year, and a few things. So let me just reshare my screen. So a couple of house rules. Yes, ask questions. This is really for your growth and development as much as mine as I sit here and I try and coach and explain them. So please ask questions. And even if you think that it's more of a contrary view, that's beautiful. Let's talk through it. Love them. The other thing is mute yourself, and everybody here so far is muted, which is cool. If you want to ask a question, yeah, you can just unmute. That's totally cool. The other thing that I'll call out is in Zoom, there's something called Zoom focused mode. And so when you joined, you likely received two messages. One was that this is being recorded so that we can share it with others. The other one that you might have noticed was that this is in focus mode. So what that means is that you're able to share your video with me and nobody else. So if you don't want to, if you're, you don't like others looking at you in Zoom, totally cool. But in this particular case, focus mode is just so that I can see you. And so I always enjoy seeing the humans on the other side rather than looking at blank screens. So if you like, go ahead and turn on your video. And as people are turning them on, I can tell you, if you see that you can see somebody else other than me, speak up, because then the focus mode's not working. But that's how focus mode works. So for those of you that haven't shared your video, others are. So hey. All right. So there is always the chat function in Zoom, and it's pretty much just locked to me. So you can send me any comments, any questions, anything. I'll try and keep kind of an eye on that chat window. If there's something in there that requires a little bit more discussion, we'll just throw it to the end. And along the way, ask questions. And if I'm going too fast, slow me down. All right, a little bit about me. So a lot of you kind of already know me. So I'm a leadership development coach, and I say the word leadership, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's just for executives or just for people that are leading people. And it's not just corporate. It's anybody who really wants to kind of take control of their life and lead it. And so that pretty much covers everybody. So I'm here to help and coach in a corporate environment, yes, and then also in a personal development aspect as well. A lot of people come to me with these types of things in mind. When they do come to me, it's usually around wanting better relationships, whether it's in work or outside of work, just in life. They want to be more successful. How do they do that? They want better habits. They want to set goals and achieve them. They want balance. They just want to feel better about themselves. So these are all areas in the coaching realm. When we talk about development and coaching, very, very common that any one person will come to me with these kinds of desires and wants. And connect with me. If you're not already on my newsletter, jump on my website. You can sign up on it. I'm on LinkedIn. You can follow me there, or send me an email. I love talking about these types of topics, and so I'm always open for a chat. Just shoot me an email. All right, cool. All right, so we're going to jump into it. So 5 steps to create goals that stick. What you're going to find today is not this is how you do SMART goals. This is how you make a plan for yourself. No, that's not what this is. So, I mean, go ahead and exit out if you want, but that's not what this is. This is deeper and more profound than just the superficial tools, right? So this is going to definitely feel more on the personal development side, but it's definitely something that you can apply everywhere in your life, personal and professional. All right. Right. So typical goals. So typically we'll set a goal of just, I want to exercise more. I want to read one book a month. I want to eat healthier. I want to learn an instrument or get a master's or lose weight, get a new job, right? These are all fine goals to establish. But are they the right ones? And are they actually going to help you? And are you going to be able to achieve them? And there's all too often a sequence that a lot of our goals end up following. And that's where we'll think of something, new job. I want to get a new job. I'm going to apply to a new job. All right, cool. All right, set your goal by December or by November or by June or by February, whatever. I'm going to have a new job. Great. All right. Then we go. And then we're excited and diligent and hopeful and determined. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, this isn't easy. This isn't coming easy. And do I really want to do this? And then not sure if I'm interested in it anymore. And then it's like, nah, I'm too busy. There's more important things to do, other life stuff, right? And then it just, and usually it'll be like, nah, I forgot about it. Or somebody will ask us and we'll be like, yeah, no, it wasn't the right goal for me. Or no, it wasn't that important. So we'll usually make up excuses of why it just didn't work out. I lost a couple pounds, but yeah, no, I just didn't stick to it. So the question is, okay, why is this happening? And it's more about how and where you're starting than anything, right? So if I use this analogy of mold on a wall, and if any of you are familiar with mold on a wall, it's not a good thing. It's very, very, very bad to have mold in your walls. And so if this is new for you, you might look at that and go, oh, well, I'm just going to clean it really well, use bleach and stuff. And then I might actually paint over it. But the thing is, we're focused on the solution, right? The solution of just the wall looking good. I just want the wall looking good rather than getting to the root of the problem, right? But is it the right solution for us? Is it the right solution just to paint over it? And how do we know? Well, we're going to do it and then realize, oh, the mold came back. Oh, that's weird. And it's actually more than it was before. And then it might turn into that black mold stuff. So we'll know when we try it and then nothing comes of it. And then we might just paint over it again. And then again, until something else happens, right? So if we're just doing the quick fix right on the surface to paint the wall versus getting to the root down to the studs or understanding the climate in the room, it's going to drive whether or not we're going to be successful. So as painting the wall will return us back to the same starting point, a moldy wall. That's not helpful. Removing the source of what's causing the mold has a greater chance for permanent change. So no different. If we understand why it is that we're seeking another job, and we really get down to the drivers and root causes of that, and work on those to figure out what our goals are going to be, we'll likely have some change that will actually stick. So that's why today we're going to go down into the root side of it. And so in today's journey here, we're going to focus on 5 different areas. So one, I'm saying locate yourself, and I don't mean via GPS here. I don't mean physically in your body, your physical body, but rather inside. What the hell is going on in there, right? And then you need to be honest with yourself, and we'll talk about what that really means. And then we're going to say, okay, well, geez, there's roadblocks in there. What are we going to do with them? And then we kind of wipe everything and create something new so that we can get set and go. All right. All right. First step, this idea of locate yourself. So getting to that root, and where are you? Where is that home spot? So how do we want to feel inside? So inside, in your home, inside your body, how do you want to feel? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, you know. I mean, what feelings do you want to always come home to? You live there, you're the only one who lives there, and you come home there every single day. Do you come home and you're stressed and anxious and doubtful, angry, frustrated? Or are you like, ah, I love my home. It's so peaceful and nice. I love it in here, right? So whatever it is, we're usually are striving for happiness inside. That's all we want, just peace and quiet and happiness. And the thing is that we will do whatever we can to try and create happiness or reduce the amount of other things going on in our body, right? So in our mind. So happiness is a place free from sadness, frustration, pain, anger, apathy, resentment, negative feelings, right? And so what we'll do is we'll try to do everything we can to reduce those and increase happiness as much as we can. And sometimes that means that we might piss people off, actually. It could very well mean for me to be happy after this coaching lab thing, I need to be somewhere. I need to be downtown. And I want to get there on time. So in order for me to be happy when I get there, I'm going to zoom through traffic. And yeah, I might cut off some people along the way, but I'll be happy when I get there. So it might not even matter that I'm pissing people off along the way. As long as I'm happy, I'm good. So we do this, maybe not in that exact example, but we do things because we're doing our best, trying to keep happiness inside. So the thing is, why this is so important, why we're starting here, is when we make a goal off of something other than a happy feeling, we're setting ourselves on a road of something that might not work out. If I'm doubtful, if I'm angry, if I'm frustrated, if I'm sad, and I set a goal on top of that, then that's what's going to lead me through to something that's not going to work for what I really want. If I'm already feeling not good enough and I go ahead and do a goal, what are the chances that I'll actually be able to achieve it if I don't feel good enough to start with? Sounds good, but no, maybe not. So what we end up doing in our head is we dream a lot. We often dream of being happier. Oh, I'd be so happy sitting in a nice new office. I'd be happier if I had a new car. I'd be happier if I had friendly people around me, right? So I'm not happy now, but I would be happy if something else happened around me. That's usually how we're looking at it. If I had a new job, a new raise, a new partner, new dog, new life, then I'd be happier, right? So we often pick these external things to focus on to make us happy. And the thing is that what's really happening in this situation is that we're focused so much outward that these things are going to make me happier, that it's almost as if we're running away. We want to get away from our unhappiness. This home we live in, we're trying to get out of it. We don't want to stay here anymore. It's already has problems. I don't want to deal with these problems anymore, right? So this is where we are moving as fast as possible away. We're trying to run away from our unhappiness as fast as we can. And the thing is that if we're running away from our unhappiness, then we're not solving any problems whatsoever, right? So this happiness, where is it coming from? Where is this unhappiness coming from? Well, it's coming from all the people out there, all of the problems that they're causing me, right? Yeah, all of them. Sorry, it's not. It's actually coming from your own head inside. You're the ones who's coming up with these ideas. So it's coming from inside the mind. If we can understand that, yes, things are happening external, good or bad, but it's us who internalize it and make decisions on how we want to interpret it. So this unhappiness comes from because I've qualified things from outside. That's not good. That's not good. That's bad. That's rude. That's mean. Yep. And that's how I'm going to surround myself inside my home here with all of this unhappy stuff. Well, of course, how would I feel after I did all of that? Probably wouldn't feel so happy. So this first step, you want to hit your internal locate me button to understand what's going on inside. When you're thinking, I'm not happy now, but I would be happier if. So what unhappiness are you trying to move away from? And then start there. Start there rather than starting at some end solution of, oh, I'm just going to get another job, or I'm just going to lose weight or change my eating habits. So 2, being honest. And this one, yeah, I'm honest with myself, whatever, but are you really being honest with yourself? Do you own up and eyes wide open? Because if I do this thing, will it actually change anything, right? If I go get another job, and if I was being really honest with myself, is that really going to make the change I'm really wanting to make? Will I really be happy there? Or if I'm just grabbing for whatever? And if something does change, so let's say, yeah, I got a new job, nice title, nice pay, really, really, really good job. I love it. Feels good. Feels great. It's so much better than that other job. How long will that last? Until, Bob over in finance, he is so irritating. And Sam over in logistics has something, he's out to get me. I don't know what his deal is, right? So this is where all of a sudden you were feeling good about this job, and all of a sudden you just stop. It just doesn't last. So how long will that last for? Right? I want to be happy, so I'm going to go eat a piece of chocolate cake, and that's going to make me happy. Oh, I know it will. It will. As I'm eating it, it's like, that's really good stuff. And then 5 minutes later, after I've consumed a piece, this big, I feel like crap. Physically feel like crap. And then mentally, I'm like, damn it, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I told myself I wasn't going to do that, and damn it, I did it again. But it did change for a little while. I was feeling pretty good for the first 2 minutes or so. So is it actually going to change anything? Is it going to sustain? Will it actually solve my root problem? My root problem of why is it that I had to go for that chocolate cake? Why was it so enticing? Was it really because I was starving and that was the only thing I could eat? Haven't eaten for 6 days and I had to eat that chocolate cake? No, fortunately not. But why do I keep grabbing for that one thing? Why do I keep reaching for this stuff? So one thing to keep in mind here is that imagination is a big thing that's going on in our heads. We're imagining stuff all the time. And the thing is that everything around us in this world, everything came from someone's imagination. Our phones, somebody sat there, thought, this wireless cellular thing would be able to communicate. Zoom, who thought of Zoom? Somebody imagined it. AirPods, somebody imagined that, right? So somebody imagined it and made it happen. So everything starts in imagination. So if your imagination is already kind of toxic and kind of like not very nice in your own reality, in your own world, if you're starting an imagination where your world is just kind of dark and gloomy, frustrating, overwhelming, it's very difficult to manifest anything from that type of world. If nobody thought that it was possible to put, these types of electrical things together to make this cell phone thing, we'd never have it. So you want to imagine who you want to be. This is where this is coming in. We're in a world, we're unhappy, our imaginations and places, we're imagining really negative things. Wait, I could start imagining how I want to be. Imagine the change I want to see myself. I could look at myself as, yeah, I'm just somebody who doesn't hold to goals. I just don't. I procrastinate. I'm a bit of a loser and lazy, actually. If I'm being honest with myself, I'm just totally lazy. I'm just that type of person. I don't really care, actually. Don't care about anything. That's the world I live in. That's the imagination I'm creating. So very, very difficult to start setting goals in that type of environment. So do you believe it? If you're being honest with yourself, do you believe it? Do you truly believe you can change? Is it possible to become the person that you've imagined? That's great. You created this whole world and it's so lovely, butterflies and unicorns and everything all over the place. It is so wonderful. I created the best world possible. Do you believe it? No, not really. I mean, I just threw it out. That's not possible. Oh, okay. Well, good luck. You know. So it's one of those things. You want to create something that in your mind that you can actually achieve. Do you really think that you're a kind person? Do you think that you're a capable person? Do you think that people value you? I'm sure people do. Everybody at some level does somewhere. People do. You are capable of those things. It's just a matter of, do you believe it? So if you can't imagine it and you don't believe it, you're not going to be able to set these goals. So this is where that internal work needs to start happening. So in this second step, you want to be honest with yourself. You want to understand, what you are seeking and what will actually change. You want to go with the thing that will create lasting change, and then check in to see if do I actually believe that? And if you can get to a point where you're manifesting and thinking in a way that's putting your mind into a positive place and you actually believe it, then it's like, okay, let's understand what's going on after that. What are the roadblocks that are happening? And typically roadblocks that will happen are ones where there'll just be doubt. I don't think I can do it. So the thing is that if you're not starting at the root and roadblocks start coming up, and then you can't achieve your goals, just like the little sequence that I showed at the beginning, where you just kind of fall off the mountain there, it creates a cycle. So it creates a cycle where, yeah, I feel like I failed. Yeah, I didn't do it. And it's kind of difficult, maybe too difficult. And I don't even know if I don't even know if it's even possible for me to do it. And I might as well just give up. So you might not consciously think to this extreme, but it starts very, very, very stealth-like, where we feel, nah, I couldn't do it, man. Move on, just move on. And that cycle embeds itself and starts to reinforce itself to a point where, yeah, you know what? I've tried to lose weight 4 or 5 times. Forget it. I can't do it. I don't know. It's just not possible, right? So this is where we begin to create a version of ourselves that enforces this idea that we're unable to change. It's a thinking that reinforces that. And so once we get stuck in that loop, very difficult to actually achieve anything. We're listening to this inside voice that's telling these things to us. And so we have to overcome our perceptions. How we truly think of ourselves affects our motivation. Of course it does. If I think of myself in a positive way, I'll probably be a little bit more motivated. If I think of myself as somebody who can't really do anything, the last 4 things that I didn't achieve them anyway. So what tells me that I can do this one? I'm already in a negative mindset. And so at some level, do we believe that we're not good enough, that we're not smart enough, that we're not strong enough, worthy enough, experienced enough, not outgoing enough, not good looking enough, not fit enough, right? These are all limiting our potential to change, all of those thoughts, how we perceive ourselves. If I'm starting there in a bad perception, so difficult for me to actually do anything. It really is. Do you perceive yourself as someone who can change? Can you actually see yourself changing? If you can't, then it's not going to happen. You're the only one who gets to decide this. Nobody else. You can ask people, you can ask your friends, do you think I can actually lose some weight? You could, and they'll tell you, sure, or they'll tell you, no, I don't know. Doesn't matter what they tell you. At the end of the day, you're the one who gets to decide whether or not you change. And so this is where we need to take control. We need to lead our own life in this way. So it's like, yeah, who's telling us this? Where are we getting these ideas from? Well, I mean, some of them did start from outside. Somebody might have said something to us. Somebody wasn't very motivating. They overly critical. They hurt our feelings, right? So other people did that. But who's in control of these thoughts? Who created those thoughts, right? So yes, there's inputs from outside, but the thought that's sitting in my head, who actually created it? Well, we all did in our own heads. We created it. We interpreted, we created it, we're holding on to it. But we can be the one to let them go. So if we created it and we're the only one in here in this house, we can let go of those. And often this is easier said than done to just let go of it. But the key step here is that when we begin to realize what are we holding on to, what are we believing, we're saying it to ourselves and we're believing it. We're saying it and we're believing it. Negative, I believe it. Negative, I believe it. Why? Break the cycle. Really, I can see myself in a very positive way if I want to, only if I want to. So step 3 is pay attention. How are you perceiving yourself? And then take control and stop that negative cycle. Step 4, this is where we just want to wipe it and maybe create something new. And so there's a concept here that I'll introduce. And that's, can anybody show me a jar of happiness, a jar of fear, a jar of sadness? Can somebody just take it and put it in a bottle and give it to me? No. I mean, unless you're like witchcraft, I don't even know what that would look like. But you could symbolize it. You could give me symbolism of some kind, something sad in there, sad story. But your sadness inside you, you can't take that out. It's not like your hand where you could say, well, here's my hair, or no, you can't actually give these things. Why? Why can't you actually give this thing that you feel so strongly inside? Can't give it because it's only an idea. It's fabricated. It's fictitious. It's not real. Not real. Not real. Not real. Real. Not real inside, right? It's not real. It's just an idea you came up with. And the thing is that with all these different ideas, we're creating our own reality. And going back to that reality that I'm creating, is that something that's peaceful and nice to live in? Or is it just very stressful, just high anxiety, lots going on, strung out, and just like I'm to my max in there? No wonder I'm running away from it, right? So we want to eliminate this unhappiness. We want to let go of this old reality. If we can come to terms with the reality that we're creating and stand up for ourselves and say, well, no, I don't want to create that reality anymore, you can start letting go of it. You can actually start, you're the only one gripping hold to it very tightly inside. You holding on, just like a helium balloon. Don't want it to drift off into the sky. But this one you do. Just let go of your grip, just a little, and then it'll go up. It's the same thing inside. We grip so tightly. And when you grip something so tightly and for so long, it's kind of hard to release your grip because it's like cramped in there. It's the same thing inside your body. You've held on to this so long, it's just hard to let go of it. So awareness of what's going on is the first step to it. So you can kind of take control of what's going on in there and do something about it. And often when we're angry, we're all often thinking, well, those people are making me angry. They're the ones who need to stop making me unhappy, right? They're the ones that are causing this. When we're angry, we're just looking outward. When we're overwhelmed, we're doing the same thing. Gosh, you're stressing me out. You guys need to stop it. Not to say that what's going on outside of you isn't a good or bad thing, but the person next to me could be totally stressed out by this environment, by having to sit here and talk. Somebody in the same position as me could be so nervous, stressed out, doubtful, scared, all of these things, or not. Why? What is the difference? There's something different inside my head versus the person next to me that might be stressed out. So what we need to do is create a new vision of ourselves. One that's powerful, controlled, confident, happy. We actually have to create this. If it's not there, we actually have to go, well, not fictitious land of some version of you that's never going to exist. No. A true version of you. What could you actually see yourself like? And do you understand where you're seeing yourself where it's not positive? So we want to see that voice go away, that critical inside voice go away. And we want to replace that with new beliefs. What do you believe? I believe that I'm really not that smart. And I believe that I don't know. I'm not that capable, because people constantly find errors in all of my writings and things like that. I'm really a poor writer. And I don't think I can really put myself out there, right? These are my beliefs. How am I going to show up in this world? So what are your beliefs? What are your new beliefs? What do you want to believe? I want to believe that I am capable, because I am. I'm in full control of myself. I'll do the best job that I can do. And that's all I can do. Whoa, okay, cool. I'll run with that. So we can only accomplish our goals if we truly believe we can do them. It's just simple like that. So 4, you create your own reality. You let go of the old reality and you create new beliefs. So 5, get set and go. Right? So as long as we go through steps 1 through 4, now the pre-work is done. All right. So starting from a place of happiness and not from a place of unhappiness, not from a place where I feel scared, not from a place where I feel incapable. No, from a place where I feel strong and confident. If you believe in this new vision of yourself, then you can identify all the different things, big and small, that you need to do to achieve your vision. You can use those functional tools, SMART goals and things like that, and trackers and whatever you want. But not until you really understand what it is that you need to focus in on. So a couple examples, right? So if I take the example of I want to lose weight, then we say, my goal is eat less junk food. Fine, let's go. Let's do that. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to eat less junk food. Well, hold on a second. But what's causing me to want to lose weight? What is making me unhappy? Well, I don't know. Well, let's find out, right? So this is where, if I answer that question, I'm like, well, it upsets me. It upsets me when I get criticized, and I just want to feel better, so I raid the kitchen cabinet. You know, if somebody sends me an overly critical email, I don't know. I deserve something a little more happy, so I'm just going to go raid the cabinet. Okay. Why does it upset you when people criticize you? Well, because it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Okay. So what are some solutions to address not feeling good enough when you receive feedback from others? So this is what we should be focused in on. This is our goal. Our goal to have you be able to process feedback in a way that doesn't cause you to feel upset inside. And if that's the case, if we can do that, and we can help you process this feedback so that it doesn't agitate, then there will be less reasons for you to go raid that cabinet. And if there's less reasons for you to go raid that cabinet, then chances are you'll lose some weight. But if we just went straight to limiting our junk food, and I can tell you from experience, I try to eat less junk food just because, but damn, I just got off this call and I just a little something sweet, please. And then, so before I know it, I'm halfway through a bag of caramel popcorn and it tastes really good, but then I feel crappy, and then I feel bad because I set this goal for myself to eat less junk food, and there I go. Evidently, I'm not capable of eating less junk food. And then that circulates in my head. Another example, I'm not happy at work. All right, well, get a new job. But what's causing me to want a new job? What's making me unhappy? Well, this job is boring and I don't feel fulfilled. All right, what's making you feel this way? I don't feel fully utilized. My manager doesn't understand my full potential. Well, what are some ways you can demonstrate your greatness of what you're doing and how you do it? So if we focus there, that may equate out to a new job, or maybe that equates out with that realization. You might go, well, I'm going to take on different projects and diversify what I'm working on. Or I might take a stretch assignment into another role at the same company. Or I might just have a conversation with my manager and say, hey, I have all of these skills here and I'd love to be fully utilized. I don't feel fully utilized. And it could be a conversation that actually helps. Or it does do, hey, no, I need to find a new job because this job has this capacity that I've exceeded. And that's good. You understand now why it is a new job is a good fit. And when you're looking for that other job, you have this new knowledge that this next job, I need to focus in on whether or not this new role will fulfill all of my greatness, all the things that I have to bring to the table, and that whoever I'm working with will understand my potential. I want a job like that versus out of the gates. If I just went straight for another job, I just get another job, probably with more money or a higher title, and then get there and be like, well, I still don't feel fulfilled. Why? I don't know. Let me just get another job. All right. So your steps. So step one, understand what's driving your unhappiness. Two, be honest and truthful with your unhappiness. Three, stop the negative self-talk. Four, create a new version of yourself. And five, do steps 1 and 4 and then set your goals. So this is where it is so helpful to enlist people to help you through this process. It's not an easy process. It's not a process that comes naturally to us sometimes. Just like mold on a wall, I tried to clean it, mold didn't go away. I tried to paint it, mold came back. I don't know how to get rid of mold. I can try ripping out the sheetrock to replace it all, but I don't know how to do that texture thing on the wall. So I don't know how to do that. So you know what? I need to hire somebody. I need to enlist people who know how to do this. I need some help to figure out, how do I control the humidity in this room so that it doesn't cause mold? No different in these steps 1 through 5. You're not necessarily equipped with all of the tools to be able to solve all of this. And that's why it's so important that you enlist support and help from people around you. All right. So lots of me talking, and we're about 48 minutes in. I always like to kind of carve off this last little piece. If anybody has any questions, any comments, anything they'd like to share, you're welcome to do so. You can put it in the chat. You can unmute yourself. And
hey, Lou, can you talk a little bit about how you work in this space with people?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks, Bob. So when we sit down together, going back to locating yourself, the first part of working with somebody is not only that I don't know them to that level, I might know them, know of them, or not at all, but I don't know where their head's at. And they likely often don't know exactly where their head's at. They can articulate, I'm not happy, but I don't know where. And so this is where we often start with a little bit of discovery work, just to go, okay, what's really going on? And we try and map out the different situations and sequences of things that are happening so that we can just begin to uncover all these little nuggets. And then from there, we go through and we go, okay, all right, let's unpack this one. Let's unpack that one. And more often than not, a lot of these things that we are experiencing come down to the same types of roots in the middle. So once we begin to start solving some of these similar roots, we begin to see that I'm seeing myself show up there like that there. Oop, and over here, that's the same thing. So it's one-on-one in these sessions, and and working through with people to walk them through that. Does that help, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So just curious, raise of hands, who all experiences some of the pitfalls that I kind of walk through. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's human nature, you know. I mean, it really is. And um the the thing is that um we don't have to sit in this kind of mindset. But it's so familiar to us. It's so familiar. We've held this mindset since childhood. I mean, since I don't know how early, but it's ingrained. It's pretty far in there. Um, so all that we can do is start understanding where we're finding ourselves do these things, and then kind of stop and hit pause and start working through them. And I mean, it is possible. It totally is possible. You see people all the time who are in such positive mindsets and they seem so progressive and forward thinking and they just seem happier. And versus people who are just like overly critical, they're kind of curmudgeon or they're low patience or um that they're really quiet because they low self-esteem, or people who are really loud because they have low self-esteem. So it goes both ways. But yeah, so um, I definitely encourage any other questions. And you can definitely reach out to me afterwards. And if you'd like to have a copy of this, I'm happy to forward it to you. Just you can put a note in the chat for me, and I'll make sure you get it. And yeah, if you have any other pointers, I do have a little bit of a survey after the Zoom meeting ends. You should get a survey pop up on your screen. And so if you don't mind, it's like just a few questions. Let me know your thoughts on this stuff. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in another coaching lab for sure. Cool. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Lou.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.